What's up, Internet? This is Bewildered Bat, and welcome back to Brain of the Bat. I think I'm going to call this Brain of the Bat because these are my opinions on these things. And I have Notebook Ned, which is what I'm calling my little buddy here. And today I heard something the other day, maybe yesterday, about Destiny. And it caught my attention because I didn't think it was a smart decision for Bungie to do. Smart path for them to take, I should say. Somebody on Reddit said he tested the game before it was released, and he said that he played a completely different story from what we have in our retail versions today. He said, well, this is just rumor, so the story may have been changed. No, I mean, it's not official. So, it's just not all official, so take it with a grain of salt. Don't, just take it as rumor. What he said was there was a character by the name of the Crow and a group of Guardians who found out that the Traveler might not be as good as it was portrayed. You know, it was this big thing that if you've seen or played Destiny, you know that the opening scene is these three astronauts on Mars, and they're walking over the mountains, over the rocks, through the dust, and you can tell by it looked like to me that by the footage that they were walking for a long time, just by the way it was shot and the lighting. But they cross one mountain and they see the Traveler up there sitting in the sky. And the Traveler supposedly tripled human lifespan, led us to colonize other planets. It was a golden age, as the game says, Destiny says. And then this darkness came and wiped out most of humanity except for that one city on Earth, which you all know. It's kind of a recap. But this story that may have been changed, apparently that the Crow and these other Guardians discovered that the Traveler was not also good. He was more of he wasn't this big benevolent ball. There are my bees. It was this evil thing. And I hope that's in some expansion. I hope that surfaces somewhere. I hope we can do that eventually. I really do. That just seems interesting. That seems better. That story seems better than what is little story is there. But like I said, or may not have said, I haven't played it. I've only watched it. So all I can do is speculate because I haven't played the game firsthand. But something like that, if that had been the game, that might have added another faction to join. Because you have Future War Cult and you have two others. I forget the name honestly, because like I said, I haven't played it. But that could have given you another faction to join, maybe other NPCs to talk to. Maybe you meet the Crow, maybe you meet those other Guardians, maybe you go to their base where they live. It could have added a lot, I feel. And also, that it would have led to a lot more knowledge on the Traveler. And from what I understand, that we don't know too much about him just yet. He's just a ball in the sky, big planet-sized thing that only the speaker talks to. And, this, like I said, this different story could have led to more about him. Like who made it, why they made it, where they made it, how they made it, when they made it, and with what, which I think is very important. Also, my next thought was this could have provided us with a nailed down, specific, not the ocean, but specific story that we could have followed. That it was easier, that made more sense than what's there, but I'm just going off what I hear. So I know some people might have loved what story Destiny has. I know some people don't. I haven't played it, but when I do play it, I'll be sure to do a video on what I think of it, which is going to be extremely late because I don't have a new console right now. Yeah, it could have. I just feel like that would have been way better of a story than what's there right now. And then that thought led me to this thought. If you've heard of a game called No Man's Sky, you might know where I'm going with this. It's in pre-alpha right now. Nobody's played it. There's some interviews on YouTube if you want to look it up. But it's supposedly this Minecraft. I took it as a Minecraft type space exploration game, if you will. It's not a first-person shooter. It's not. I don't think it's too action-oriented. I know there are things to fight and there are first-person shooting aspects, but I don't think that's the core of the game. And in the interviews that I have watched, uh, they said there's one guy that I've seen in 2 interviews, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, and I apologize. But he says, now I might be wrong, I might be misquoting. I'm going to paraphrase from what I remember. I should have watched it again, like a good opinionator, reviewer, or whatever. But he says this whole game is based on mathematical equations that constantly change. Now, I didn't watch it, so therefore I didn't watch it again. I've seen it once, but I should have watched it before talking to you people. You fine people out there. I don't remember the specifics. He said the specifics in the interview, but like I said, it's based on mathematical equations, which I thought was very interesting, that are ever changing, always changing. He goes into specifics if you want to look him up, look the interviews up. GameSpot had a good interview with him on YouTube. And he said that the world it's very large. It's a very large open universe, and he said that you're not going to always easily find players to fly around with, play with, fight with. It's just big. They made it that big on purpose to give you, I think, to give you a sense of loneliness, sense of isolation maybe. But it is possible to find other players. He just said it was very hard. And it's not going to be all cluttered and, jumbled up with a bunch of other people. They said they made it big enough to where that wouldn't happen. And I'm sure there's some specifics I don't know about since it's not out. I'm just saying this is just speculation, like I said. He said there are no NPCs, but there are events. Like I saw a clip where three of the one-man ships attacked this. What's the word I'm looking for here? This caravan of ships in space, and it was supposedly, if I remember correctly, it was 2 AI and a player. But apparently you can do this with your friends, you and 2 other friends, or however many. I'm not sure what the limit is. The game being an alpha like it is, it's very, very likely to change. So I guess we'll find out when it releases, and I don't believe there's a release date. But I think, in my opinion, this is what happened with me anyway, I think people, when Destiny was first showed, when the hype was being built up, I think people thought that Destiny was going to be No Man's Sky. This huge open universe where you're with a bunch of people, and it's just open, and there's these infinite number of planets to explore, which is supposedly, I think, what No Man's Sky has. Is maybe not an infinite number, but a lot of different planets to explore. And I think people thought that's what Destiny was going to be. And I'm very disappointed that it wasn't, because I know a lot of people were mad, upset about that, and I kind of am, because that seems like it might would have been better, but I haven't played it, so I don't know exactly how much I like it. I have to play it first. But also, I think it would be neat if Bungie and the developers of this No Man's Sky game kind of came together. These are my forging fingers. I forge things with these phalanges, forging phalanges, if you want to go there. I think it'd be interesting if they came together to make one game. Maybe they come together for a Destiny sequel, Destiny 2 or whatever, but the second Destiny game, if they're going to do that, they may just build on this base game for a while, and maybe the developers of No Man's Sky should help with expansions. I really do believe that they should help with Destiny 2, the sequel to Destiny. However they want to do that, they should be involved. Because I think if these 2 developers work together, that would be an amazing game. I think it would set a bar for games to shoot a little higher, especially if those 2 came together. Now, I do believe that a pretty high bar has already been set for these new consoles. And, it happened with Destiny, actually. The hype set that bar so high for that game that when it came out, people liked it. They obviously liked it because it was apparently the most successful selling franchise of all time, I think. But I think they hyped it up too much, which is what a lot of people say, and I agree with them. that it was hyped up way too much, and that's why people were a little disappointed. And I feel like if the developers of No Man's Sky would have worked with them, it could have been better, just from what I've been hearing and seeing. But I think those two publishers can make a pretty awesome game. Yeah, that would be a very awesome game, now that I really think about it. But, No Man's Sky right now is in pre-alpha, like I've said. And I'm very excited for that game. I hope I can play it somehow. I hope I can get a hold of somebody with a PS4 who ends up with that game so I can play it and try it out. Maybe just a small trial, not beat the thing or play it forever, but maybe just an hour or two with it, just to see what it's like. But, I mean, there might be some drawbacks from Bungie and the developers of No Man's Sky coming together and working on a game. It might end up to be too open. It might be too much, too hard to run for the systems. It might end up being a PC exclusive if there was a game with that much in it and there was that big of a game out there. It could possibly be a PC exclusive. We don't know the full extent of the abilities of these new consoles, especially me, because I still have a 360 and he's over there staring at me through the glass of my entertainment center. I love my 360, but I really want an Xbox One. But like I said, I think No Man's Sky developers and Bungie combining to make one game, maybe Destiny 2, maybe not. It might be too much for the systems to run, or not. It may run very smoothly, and it may be one of the best games of all time. With Destiny's, I hear the highlight. A lot of people love the shooting in Destiny. They say it flows really well, and it looks like it on screen. They say that it's just very fluid. It works very well, and I think that combined with this software of No Man's Sky that is based on all these ever-changing mathematical equations, I think the shooting of Destiny and that software would make an awesome game for people to play, and I'm pretty sure that game would hold over a lot of people, and of course a lot of people might not like that, but this is just an idea. I think it would be an interesting idea. I think it is an interesting idea, and it would be interesting if it was done. In Destiny, there's all the enemies are pretty much the same, except for a few different ones, right? And if those two combined, that would add more weapons, add more things to do. The possibilities of that are endless. For now, in this speculation stage of mine, and I know No Man's Sky is very, like I said, it's alpha right now. It's probably a little past alpha because it was alpha when I saw it a few months ago. But I don't think it's in beta. It could be, for all I know. But I know it's not finished. I do know it's not finished. And making speculations of No Man's Sky being this awesome game, it might be way too early to make that judgment. I try not to make snap judgments like that, but I'm doing it here just because I feel like I feel like it's going to be pretty good. And I'm hoping the YouTubers that I watch play that. I'm sure some of them will. Also, in No Man's Sky, apparently the environment doesn't update itself. And bear with me, I'll explain that. The example was if you're flying through space and you come across this space station, and it's fine, it's intact, it's operational, it's working, and you destroy it like some trench run on the Death Star dropping a bomb in that exhaust port. And if you blow it up, it's going to be blown up on your friend's game. It's going to be destroyed because you destroyed it. And I think that's interesting. I don't feel like a lot of people are gonna take to that too well. I know when I first heard it, I just started thinking, I'm not sure I care for that, because maybe I wanted to destroy it and it's already destroyed. But the way that game runs on those ever-changing mathematical equations, it might not matter. There might be hundreds, thousands of more space stations out there to destroy, while Obi-Wan's talking in your ear with the Force and all that. And I hope that No Man's Sky has some form of PvP, 3v3 versus 3, capture the flag, King of the Hill, that type of thing. I really do, because that game already looks awesome. But Destiny looked awesome when it was in alpha, and I don't think it's as awesome as people thought it was in the beginning. Now, some people might think it's awesome already. They might love that game. I mean, I know people who love that game but also hate it at the same time, it's very confusing. It's very confusing to listen to them say, I love this game, and then hark on it. And I'm not harking on them, I'm just saying, I think I would do that same thing. I would say, oh, I love this game, but then I would talk about the problems, and it would sound like I hate it with my entire soul, with all of me, that I hate it. But, yeah, that's all for this video. I just wanted to get that off my chest, because I thought about all this last night when I heard about the Destiny story possibly being changed. I just started formulating all these ideas in my head that I've been talking about. And I'm sure I'll have another video after this one talking more about that, because I'm sure my crazy brain will formulate some more ideas on what could be if those two publishers combine to make a game together, which it might happen. And I'm pretty sure Destiny has seen or heard or read about the incredible disappointment with some players as far as story goes and gear. Some people might not like the gameplay, there's not that many classes or races. And I think maybe they might hear that and want to work with No Man's Sky developers, or want to work with other developers who could help expand Destiny. They might already be working with other people to expand Destiny and make it a good game. Not that it's already not a good game, but a way better game. If you get my meaning. If you don't, I'm very sorry. I don't know how else to explain it right now. But that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next talk video.